Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel for another flea market finds episode. This is from the outdoor flea market from May 7th. Got some good machinist tools, some other tools, and a couple of other oddities. Let's start right out with this right here is a Hohner harmonica. It's like a kit. It's kind of a neat little set. It's got, what we got there? We got 3, 6, 7 harmonicas, all in different keys. So you get A, B flat, C, D, E, F, and G. They all seem to be in decent shape. I don't play harmonica, but I just thought it was a nice little kit. I do know that this was a good brand name. I think they may have gotten cheaper over the years, but back in the day, this used to be, I used to work at a music store when I was a kid, and we were a Hohner dealer. So anyways, that being said, I got this for 15 bucks. I think I did okay on it. I actually didn't even look up the value on it yet. Also for 15 from another dealer, I got another one of these Miller's Falls. This is a 185A automatic drill. So this is kind of like the Yankee screwdrivers that you see. The way this works is there's a spiral grooved rod inside here so that when you push down on this, it rotates. And some of these are screwdrivers. This they call it the automatic drill because it actually has these special drill bits that are inside the handle here, and they are 2 flute bits that are cut in a special way, so they will cut in both directions, so that they'll cut on the downstroke and the upstroke. And they work actually pretty well. I featured one of these not too long ago in a pick, but I don't think it was with the original box like this. This one appears to be practically new with the box. So 15 for that. This little lot right here, I bought all from one dealer and put together a package deal. And I ended up getting this whole lot right here for 60 bucks. That included this little hand vise, which he had 5 on. This speed nut wrench, which I had one of these not too long ago, that I ended up selling for about 15, and that's what he had was on this was 15. But again, because I get the package deal, I got probably into this for like 10, maybe even less, because I've got this best test here is in this package. Here's a little indicator attachment for 3 bucks. Here's 2 of these genuine Starrett square shank center punches. This is a Starrett, it's a Starrett pin vise scriber. This is one of those ones that's seized, so I'll have to put a couple of wrenches on here probably to break that free to get this out. This is a screw pitch gauge, made in Japan, so this is probably Fuji or NSK or something like that. It's a Fuji tool. Okay, so it's a Fuji tool screw pitch gauge. So the Starrett version of this is quite expensive. So this would be a nice alternative to somebody who doesn't want to spend Starrett kind of money on a screw pitch gauge that has quite a few different pitches all in one. He had 25 on that. And then let's take a look at this best test that I got included in this lot, which was, let's see. So this best test is a 7030-5, which is a 0.5 resolution indicator. So 0.0005. I'm sorry, half thou. Half thou. And it's got the, it's out of position there, but it's got the little wrench for the points. Goes right there. Works perfectly fine. Great shape. Good buy on that. All right, and then I get this little lot here I put together from a dealer for 5 bucks. And what this is this is a nice little portable set here. What caught my eye about this, normally these are kind of cheesy, but this one is from the Chapman Manufacturing Company of Durham, Connecticut. And I've had some of these Chapman tools, and they're actually nice quality. This is a 20-tooth ratchet offset kit. So what this is it's the typical, like screwdriver bit set that you get with these, but it's got this little little interesting ratchet right here. So this allows you to kind of get into kind of tight spaces. And I have one of these, but it's in a plastic box with probably more bits than this has, but this is still a nice little set for somebody. A single pole, double throw, toggle switch. What caught my eye on this one is it's a momentary contact, spring-loaded momentary contact one. So I was like, oh, okay. I don't have any of those probably. I'll throw that in my bag of tricks. And he had just this one lowly Niagara Cutter branded 2-flute end mill. Looks like it's new old stock. This looks like one of these Burr-Quick. Universal Metal Products Company. Yeah, Burr-Quick. Deburring tools. Boy, that one's really worn down. And this transfer punch that was just by itself, which I was like, oh, that doesn't have much value. But then I thought about it. I said, you know, I think every once in a while I come across transfer punch sets that I either have missing or damaged transfer punches. So I'll just throw it in my pile and, you know, maybe we'll get lucky and find out that I need this one. Bought this little pair of vintage goggles in excellent condition with the dark lenses in it. Sometimes the clear lenses are in there too, and they just stack them together to keep them from getting lost. So if you open it up, yeah, see, that's the clear lenses in this one already, and then we got the dark lens right there. So anyways, these have kind of a steampunk look to them and have become kind of collectible. So when I can buy them right, I'll buy them. And like I said, these seem to be in really great shape for $3. I'm always on the lookout for genuine Leathermans, and this is probably one of the coolest Leatherman finds I've found in a while, because it's a genuine Leatherman in its original Leatherman case. So I have so many of these, I really shy away from paying much money for them. But he wouldn't budge off of his ask price of $20 on this, and I knew that. If I left it there much longer, somebody was going to scoop them. So I ended up shelling out the $20 for this multi-tool, aka the original multi-tool, the Leatherman. Got a little bit of mildew on the case, but you know, still kind of neat. I like it. This is one of the first buys I got of the day. This is a, it says Simonds, S-I-M-O-N-D-S dial caliper. The box is just being held together with electrical tape as a hinge. But what's in here is actually a NSK caliper, which is Japanese. NSK dial caliper. They're a little dirty, but they actually work really well. So, I was like, well, you know, for $10, why not? I think I've got an extra case I can put these in, so I'll just probably toss this out. I'll store it in here for now until I go and find that other case. Another dealer I buy from regularly, I put together this lot from him for $15, which included this whole pile of punches. Many of these are Sterrets. Some of them are in really good shape, like that one there. Another one of these square shank ones. I didn't check, but I think these are all Sterret. There might be a couple generals in there, I don't know. But it was $15 for that. This genuine pair of vice grips, which I have so many vice grips now, I only buy them if they're US made, like these for instance. And this, which is looks like a homemade version of the Sterret scale holder. So I've featured those on the channel in the past. What this allows you to do is this allows you to clamp a scale vertically in here and turn your scale into like a rough height gauge. So anyways, you know, kind of neat, not bad. A lot of guys like homemade tools. And then he threw in this when I saw him later. He says, oh, I had one other piece I forgot about. It's a little Sterret outside caliper, a small one. And so he just gave that to me. I buy a lot from him, so. And then I got all the items in this box came to $30. This is a S&B Company of Boston combination square. I've never heard of this company before, so it caught my eye. The vial is intact. It never had a scriber apparently, so the scriber isn't missing on this one. But S&B Company Boston. So kind of an interesting ditty there. A nice pair of Helios, made in Germany, dial calipers. Those of you guys who follow my channel may recall that I have said that this is the first, this brand is the first dial caliper I ever owned. And I liked them a lot. I ended up actually eventually selling them because ended up, you know, getting other things like Starretts and Mitutoyos or whatever, or what have you. But this one, it's a vintage caliper, but it works perfectly fine. And what I liked about this one in particular is it's got this original leather case. Now this isn't marked Helios on it, but the reason why I know it's the original leather case is because the ones that I had years ago had an identical case, a case exactly like this. The only difference was right here you could make out Helios, and I don't see it on here, so I mean, it's possible this isn't the original case, but I got a feeling it is. Now, who cares? Another one of these little hand vices. I'm going to start buying these less and less. I buy them when I can buy them cheap for like, you know, $5 or $10. But I found that I'm selling these less and less often. Typically I was getting 15 for these, so if I could buy them for 5 or 10, it was worth it. Now it's kind of, you know, getting to that point where it's like, well, if the market is dried up on these. So these are great little vices if you don't already have one. What's cool about them is you can clamp a small part in here and, you know, use it at the grinder or whatever. And also what you can do with this is you can clamp a small part in this vise, and then you can clamp this vise because of the flat area here. You can clamp this in a larger vise. So if you're trying to hold a really small part in your, you know, your bench vise. But anyways, I don't normally buy vintage fishing stuff, but this is the only piece that the guy had, so I snagged it because it just looked kind of neat to me. It's a Bronson Royalist, looks like 370 fly reel. So I don't know much about him. And he had this random hand wheel which looked like it came off of maybe a South Bend or something. So I was like, oh, well, you know what, I'll take that in case I find a use for it, or, you know, off of a rotary table, or who knows what this came off of. But for $5 it was a good deal. I figured that was 5 because, like I said, I paid 30 for that lot right there. So yeah, we got 5 items here at $6 a piece. That's $30. And then from the guy who gave me the broken caliper, I also snagged this from him later on. It was there earlier, and I forgot how much he wanted for it, but I didn't want to. I have so many of these that I was like, oh. But then when he still had it later, he took my $15 offer on it. So this is a nice screw jack that somebody took the time to paint. Give it this two-tone color here. It's got the looks of like a not necessarily a Pexto. I'm trying to think of some of the other brands, and I think I could just make out it says 1 1/4 on here, or 1 1/2 maybe. And I think that's the tonnage that these are rated for. Let me move this stuff off the bench, make a little bit of room, and I'll show you the pile of electronic CV junk I got for $20. So I almost forgot. This is going to be one of the one of the hilarious picks of the day. Here's a Blake coaxial indicator. So for those of you who know Blake coaxial indicators, you know that they're expensive. They're a nice tool to have. Some guys don't care for them. They go with the old tried and true other methods for centering items in the mill, but a lot of guys swear by these. They also make cheaper, there's aftermarket versions of these that are made badged under Phase 2, MHC and the like, and no name. But this is the original, the Blake coaxial. But take a look at this. This was probably left in a machine, and somebody turned the spindle on more than likely, and it was one of the machines that, a modern machine that had some serious rip'ems that it could make. It's my theory, and this thing just let loose or struck something, but it bent the shank so badly it actually cracked. So you can see this actually, it's cracked. If we tried to bend this back, which I'm not going to do, more than likely it would just break right off. But here's what I thought was the coolest thing about this. For all the damage it took, this still works. The glass actually has a couple of like little bullseyes where the glass looks like it was struck or cracked. And I don't feel that on the surface, so that's probably on the inside face. I don't see any pieces of glass broken off floating around on the inside there to interfere with it. So the kicker to me is this thing still works. So the movement is fine in this thing. And the reason why that's important is because if somebody has a Blake coaxial that has a problem with the movement, they could use this to repair theirs. And I only paid $2 for this, so this was a heck of a deal, I think, even with the damage for $2. And it didn't have the case, so there's no tips or anything to go with it. Even the set screw to hold the tip in there is missing. But this could be a godsend to somebody who has a broken one, and it just gave up on buying new parts for it from the Blake company. All right, let's take a look at that CB junk. All right, so it was either 20 or $25 that was how much I paid for this lot, which included this CB radio here. He had $15 on it, so but like I said, I got this whole lot for like $25. It's a Radio Shack. Is what? Oh, actually, yeah. So what caught my eye was the box is a Radio Shack, but what's actually in here is a Cobra. So what's in here is a Cobra sound tracker, Cobra 29 sound tracker. So the Cobra 29 is a pretty popular model, but this one is a little bit different. It's got this knob on it where it can tune in weather frequencies. So the NOA or whatever it is, weather frequencies, it must have like all of the frequencies stored in this bank of 7. So no matter where you are, I'm sure you can dial in at least one frequency that you'll be able to receive and get weather information. Which is kind of neat. And then it's got all the other features that you normally would have with the Cobra 29. And then it's also, I'm not sure what the sound tracker function is. So this is the sound tracker button here. So I don't know, it seems like a pretty clean radio. And I think all of this stuff was just pulled out of a, I think the guy told me this all came out of like a conversion van. So like the big vans that they basically kind of built into a camper. So there was this. So oddly enough, on the funny thing about the box here is that it still has the Radio Shack paperwork in it for the Radio Shack radio that went in here. The owner's manual, by the looks of it, maybe a mounting bracket for mounting it under the dash. This obviously doesn't belong to that. It's an interesting little portable antenna. This probably also doesn't belong in there. This is a jumper for FM radio antenna connection. Let's set this aside because this lot also included all the junk in this bag, which pull out this contraption here. So here's so here's the radio that belongs in that box right here. It's a Radio Shack TRC 447. This also has the weather alert built into it. Interesting that he seemed to be, whoever this guy was, he seemed to be favoring the weather alert radios. This also has a priority channel 9 and priority channel 19 switch, which is kind of neat. Priority 9, back in the day, channel 9 was the emergency hailing channel. So you were supposed to stay off that channel unless you had an emergency. And then the idea was that State Highway Patrol would be monitoring channel 9. So if you got in an accident, you know, before cell phones, you could get on channel 9 and you could call for help. And then channel 19 is considered the Universal Truckers channel. So being able to hop quickly to that is kind of neat. You know, he was only asking 10 on this when I put this deal together. So I should take that radio and probably put it in that box with the other ones. Test it out, make sure it works okay. This is actually pretty clean. I like the chrome's in pretty good shape on it. It's actually a nice looking radio for Radio Shack. And got the what appears to be the original microphone on here, and then he put this gear keeper doohickey on here. Okay. So that's interesting. I have to show my son that. He just put a CB radio in his truck. And that was mounted to this board, which had Velcro on it, so that it could be taken in and out of wherever the heck it was mounted in this conversion van, alongside a Pioneer AM/FM car stereo with CD player. And then this is kind of nice. I like this. This is a Cobra external speaker, high gear Cobra external speaker. It's got its own independent volume control in the back. This is kind of weird. This has got the name Abushan on it. Abushan is a regional hardware store, but it's named after the founder. Wouldn't that be something if this actually was radio equipment that belonged to one of the Abushan family members? Or it could just be somebody that happens to have the same last name. But that's not a very common name, I don't think. What is this little doohickey here? We've got a FM direct adapter. Oh, okay. So this is one of these deals here, I think, that allows you to... what are we doing here? So you could plug an FM antenna into here. This might be one of those things that lets you have both of these items hooked up to the same antenna. I don't know. Not worried about that. But wait, there's more. There was also this. Again, with the Velcro. And another one of these setups here with the CB radio. This is another Radio Shack. This is a more plain Jane model. Got the LCD. Oh, that's nice. A 90-degree PL259 connector. I'll hold on to that if I need one. And another car stereo. And this one is a Pioneer. And it looked like it might be a little bit better than the last one just because it's got the detachable faceplate. But, you know, the funny thing is I don't think there's much value to these right now. You know, someday these will be old enough so that they will actually be vintage. But who's going to wait around for that? And then there was one other thing included in this lot. And he said this whole box of stuff right here went with it. Which there is some stuff that belongs to the CB stuff, but then there's just some other random stuff. All right, so there's a coax jumper. This is a car antenna booster. So back in the day, you could buy one of these things and bolt it to the bottom of your dashboard, and you press this button, and what it did was it was an RF amplifier to boost the FM antenna signal. Here's another coax with a double female connector on it. Here's another one. Alright, here's another Radio Shack microphone, but we already had the mic on that one. Oh, this is this is that other Radio Shack microphone. The cheaper of the two. So let's just look at what we have here for microphones. Oh, this is nice. This is an aftermarket Cobra. Oh no, it's not. This is the one for that sound tracker. The high gear, I think. Yeah. So this is a power mic. Let's hope there isn't a battery leaking away in here. And that doesn't bode well. The fact that I can't get this open makes me think maybe there is a leaky battery in this thing. Oh, there we go. No, it's a battery, but it's not. Hasn't done any damage yet. All right, good. Get that out of there. So this is a preamplified, for those of you who don't know CB radio stuff, this is a preamplified microphone. Usually your CBs come with a stock microphone that just has the element in it, and it relies on the radio's electronics to do the amplification. And what this does is this boosts the audio to help you reach out further. Here's another realistic mic. Alright, so we do have more microphones than we do radios. Alright. Then there's a bunch of these things. These are AC-DC adapters. 10 watt, 12 volt. So I'm wondering if he was running all of these car stereos off of an inverter in the back there. So that's just got a couple of... Well, if this works, this would be a handy little thing to have on a test bench when you need a little 12 volt supply that doesn't, you know, 800 milliamps, 8/10 of an amp. So you're not going to run much off of this, but it's interesting. And there's one, and he's got 2, 3, 4 of those. Another coax. What appears to be a mount for a, I'm guessing that was for a Garmin type of like deal here. Let's see. Cirrus. Oh, so this is a, wow. I guess before they were including satellite radio in the radios, you would buy a separate unit. And that's the power, the docking power supply. Here's a jumper for FM antenna. That's just an RJ11 phone patch cord. Oh, look, there's a double female PL259, double female, that's 258. Coupler. Another FM antenna jumper. Well, that's a sketchy looking stuff there. So that's basically a splitter for 12 volt, I guess. And he's got this, which is one of these types of connectors that is on that thing there, but it's just got the alligator clips on it. So if you want to just tap onto a battery, I guess you could do that. Of course, who knows if they got the polarity right. That's a good way to blow things up. Oh, well, look at that. I might actually have a use for that. That is a walkie-talkie antenna or portable scanner antenna, one of the two. Don't know what this is. What is this, like an extension for an antenna? Nope. Yeah, I don't know. This is some kind of an offset or extension for something. Don't know what. Well, all right, guys. So we're going to call this episode a wrap, and hope to see you next time. If you're not already a subscriber, please consider subscribing and sharing the video. Take care.